When you have everything in life, what more could you ask for? There is one thing I have in mind: freedom. The freedom of speech, of expression, to be able to enjoy life as it is, to meet interesting people. Most importantly, the freedom to love, freedom of finding someone you want to be with for the rest of your life, to be able to marry the one you desire. Unfortunately, the hope of finding love is considered a luxury. As the sole heir to the kingdom of Western Wind, I have everything a person could possibly ask for. Yet, my life is my own prison. One of the things that has kept me shackled was my marriage arrangement. Somehow, I have learned to accept the standards of living the kind of life I was given. However, not a single day has passed that I wished I could marry the person I was supposed to fall in love with. My marriage arrangement was for an alliance with the kingdom of Middle-earth. My union to their princess was considered the best way to show the world that our kingdoms were growing, something to be cautious of. Marrying an absolute stranger wasn't the worst part of it. Although we're arranged to be wed, we have yet to meet. Our two traditional parents agreed not to let us see each other until the official announcement of our highly anticipated engagement. They said it was to challenge our patience and loyalty to one another. We have sent both friendly and formal letters to one another, and through her words, she seemed sweet, kind, a gentle soul. Despite all that, I couldn't stop asking and thinking, could her beautiful tone be the same as her face? I was never the kind of person who based another's true colors through their physical attributes, especially in one's way of writing a letter. But as a future king, marrying a hideous queen would be embarrassing, most especially when the realm of mortals would be expecting an heir. Finally, at the age of 20,000 years, marriage hasn't crossed my mind. My ocean of thoughts was disturbed when someone knocked on my door. "Who is it?" I asked as I sat up on my humongous bed. My page entered and bowed. "It's Sir Gonzalo, Your Highness." "Let him in." My page nodded and fetched for Gonzalo. I was never certain of what Gonzalo's role was in the castle. He did almost everything, from entertaining guests to handling my needs. My father instructed him to focus on me for reasons unknown. Gonzalo finally entered my well-lit yet silent room and walked directly towards me. My room was never in a mess, as I had made it a rule to myself and to the servants that having an unruly room wasn't pleasing to the eye of anyone. An untidy room didn't help me think clearly as well, and I needed to have a clear mind all the time. Standing by the foot of my bed, Gonzalo bowed as he greeted. "Good morning, Your Highness." "Good morning to you too, Gonzalo." I nodded slowly. "Your breakfast is ready, young prince." "I would like to have my food brought up here, as we usually do." I stood up from my bed. "I have many reports to go through. I need to do, somehow, half of them today." Gonzalo replied, "Forgive me, Your Highness, but I'm not permitted to do so." "What do you mean?" My brows furrowed. "Her Royal Majesty has requested your presence," Gonzalo answered. "She said she would like for you to join them for a family breakfast. She has forbidden us to bring food outside the kitchen and dining hall," he explained. Gonzalo, you do know you can always use the dumbwaiters in the kitchen to bring food up to my room. My mother wouldn't even concern herself with them. I smirked. Unfortunately, His Majesty placed guards by every dumbwaiter for Her Majesty's request, Gonzalo explained cautiously. I sighed as I shook my head. They're forcing me to go downstairs, aren't they? My mood shifted. Please don't be mad at me, Your Highness. Gonzalo immediately bowed his head, his hands stiff by his sides. I am only following orders. I am not angry with you, Gonzalo, I reassured him as I settled on my lounge chair. Please tell them that I'll be joining them in a while. As you wish, Your Highness. He bowed. Thank you. You may go. He bowed once more and went on his way. Most of the time, my parents would leave me alone since His Majesty implemented independence in this castle. However, once my mother got involved, they knew how to get on my nerves. As much as possible, I didn't want to see them when I wasn't in good shape, fearing that I could lose my sense of respect for them. I arose with a sigh and prepared for breakfast. Elizabeth, I'd like for you to join your mother in her activities today. After all, it's her responsibility that you should be learning from. I heard His Majesty speak to my sister as I put an ear at the wooden door of the dining hall. This habit of eavesdropping was something that I often did to gauge the kind of atmosphere I would put myself into. I'd be more than happy to do that, Your Majesty, my sister replied with her usual cheerful, soft voice. It would be a delight to spend more time with Mother. Focus on what you can learn, not on the pleasures involved. His tone became firmer, immediately dismissing her tone of excitement. Mother entered the conversation. James, let's not overwhelm them with matters of the crown. They're still young after all. There's plenty of time for them to learn. Amelia, sooner or later, they'll be stepping into our shoes as ruling monarchs in their own right. His Majesty, James, contradicted Mother's statement. They need to learn how to handle their future obligations. I stepped away from the door, having heard enough of what sort of mood would be welcoming me this morning. I faced the guard on my right. I would like to be announced. He nodded and began after clearing his throat. His Royal Highness, Prince Robert Edward Dex. The door swiftly swung open as my name was announced. As I made my less than grand entrance into the room, the delicious aroma of food greeted me. The sun radiated through the tall windows. The heavy, red curtains were moved to the side, giving way for the natural light to enlighten the dining hall. Even if James was in this room, the dining hall had a happy ambiance. The reason could be because of my mother's gentle soul. She always seemed to carry kindness and gentleness on herself. Good morning, Robert. Mother greeted me with her radiant smile as I dragged my feet towards her. Good morning, Mother. I placed a gentle kiss on her forehead when I reached her. I then promptly addressed my sister, who sat one chair apart from her. Hello and good morning, little brother, she greeted as I pecked her cheek. A lovely morning to you, my Elizabeth, I replied, sitting in between Mother and her. You're late, Robert. I wonder what the reason is. James entered our light-hearted conversation with an icy approach towards me. This was the reason why I hated being in the same space as him. Peace would become a myth whenever we were near one another. "Good morning to you as well, James," I retorted as I dug into my plate, ignoring his rhetorical question. Calling James by his name was part of the norm within our family dynamic. He instructed my sister and I never to call him by any salutation that labeled him as a father figure. He explained that he would be gone someday, and he wanted us to be independent at all times. Wasn't that just the best example of being a father? A future king shouldn't take long in preparing himself for any kind of meal or celebration. He continued with his harsh approach, his tone firmer. "What took you so long to look decent for a simple family breakfast?" "James, dear, it's breakfast," Mother intervened with caution. "What does that have to do with everything?" he answered, furious as he turned to Mother. "Darling, why don't we have a peaceful breakfast together?" she replied, still the gracious woman that she was. "Not after I discipline your son," he answered, looking directly at me. Throwing down my utensils on the velvet-covered table, I stood up and wiped my mouth with my napkin. "Mother," I settled my napkin on top of my untouched plate. "I'm not finishing my food." "Sit down, Robert," James answered. "You're not my father," I said, looking directly into his eyes. "You were never, and never will be." I stormed away, making my way to the door. "How dare you disrespect me?" A chair, probably his, scraped on the hard floor as he bellowed. His voice echoed with blazing fury. "I'm the head of this family. I am your father." He continued his claims up to the high heavens. "When were you a father to me? To Elizabeth?" I asked, turning my head to the side. "I am a Dex, and so are you. Thus, you should start acting like one," he replied, clearly frustrated. "I will act like a part of this family if you start treating us like your family. Not like one of your minions who heed your every command as you expect a specific outcome whenever you want," I said. Silence came down upon us, prohibiting James to say another word. With a deep sigh, I left the dining hall. The slow, gentle morning breeze caressed my face, soothing me slowly out of my boiling thoughts. This was why I loved spending time here on my balcony. It was wide enough for me to walk around and think clearly. Beautiful vases with fragrant flowers added color to its bland gray cement. It calmed my mind, helping me forget about stressful matters, such as James. A soft knock came upon my door. "Who is it?" I asked without turning around. When the door creaked open, fast-paced footsteps approached me. "Your Highness," my page spoke. "Princess Elizabeth is here to see you." I faced him as I heard my sister's name. "Please, send her in." He bowed and rushed to the door. My sister has always been welcomed in my room or my study. No matter what kind of concerns she has, I never closed my door on her. A few moments later, Elizabeth appeared before my sight.